Scott Mescudi, better known as rapper Kid Cudi, testified in the federal racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking trial of music mogul Sean Diddy Combs today. Mescudi told the court his home was burglarized and his car was set on fire with a Molotov cocktail around the same time Combs learned he was dating ex Cassie Ventura. Tessa Bennett joins us in studio with the latest from court today. Tessa?
Manisa, Mescudi likened Combs to a Marvel supervillain while testifying today, detailing a string of strange and threatening incidents that came after the start of his relationship with Ventura. The court also heard from a former assistant to Combs, a makeup artist, and a hotel employee. Rain poured down outside a New York City courthouse today as the trial of disgraced rapper Sean Diddy Combs wrapped up its second week. The court heard from several witnesses today, the most notable being the testimony of rapper Kid Cudi, whose real name is Scott Mescudi.
We've heard about a lot of celebrities so far. Obviously, Kid Cudi has testified, Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers. I think the government is trying to pick and choose their best witnesses. The last thing anyone in Hollywood wants to do is to have anything to do with this case, much less be called into court to testify.
Former assistant to Combs, George Kaplan, was first to speak, returning to the stand for another day of testimony under an immunity order, a point not known to the jury. Under examination from the prosecution, Kaplan testified he witnessed Combs being violent with ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in 2015 on his private jet. He told the court he heard glass break and saw Combs standing over Ventura. Kaplan said, quote, "There was a tremendous commotion and stumble, and then the glass crashed." Kaplan left Combs' employ in 2015, saying he was not comfortable or aligned with the physical behavior that had been going on. He said working for Combs was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, despite his moral compass leading him to quit, and that he still has respect for him.
What the government is trying to do is put together the pieces of a puzzle to show a pattern of violence. So the fact that they're showing this force, this coercion, really helps negate and counter the defense that the freak-offs happened, but it was all consensual.
Prosecutors then called Scott Mescudi to the stand. Mescudi and Ventura met around 2008 and later began dating in 2011 after one of Combs and Ventura's many breakups. Part of Ventura's testimony last week included an incident that unfolded after Combs found out she was dating Mescudi, where he became enraged, threatening to blow up Mescudi's vehicle. And today, Mescudi filled in some of the gaps in that storyline. He said he received a call from Ventura in December of 2011, and she told him Combs found out about their relationship. The rapper says he picked her up and drove to a nearby hotel. It was there, Mescudi says, he got a phone call from one of Combs' employees, informing him that Combs and an associate were inside his home. Mescudi then spoke with Combs, who said he wanted to talk. When he returned home, Mescudi noticed his security cameras had been moved, gifts for his family were opened, and his dog was locked in a bathroom. The following month, Mescudi's dog watcher called to tell him that his car was on fire, alleging the damage done to his Porsche was from a Molotov cocktail. When Combs and Mescudi finally met up in person to discuss the drama unfolding, Mescudi testified that Combs was standing there, staring out the window with his hands behind his back like a Marvel supervillain. Also on the stand today was Ventura's former makeup artist and a hotel employee, whose testimony former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani says helps paint Combs in a certain light.
So when you have independent witnesses that haven't filed a civil lawsuit, they're percipient, they saw the abuse, it is helpful for the government because they can argue that Cassie's lying, she's a disgruntled ex, she's filed lawsuits against Combs, but now you have all these independent witnesses that don't have a financial motive.
The next witness the court is expected to call is former Combs employee Capricorn Clark. The trial is expected to continue on Tuesday, with court adjourned for the Memorial Day holiday. The judge presiding over Diddy's trial has instructed the jury to avoid any and all conversations and media coverage about the case over the weekend.